Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Hoosier 2-5 Challenge. My name is Ben Sissel. This is one of my favorite races of the weekend. And unfortunately, I was hosting the TA2 Podium. Did not get up here for the start of the race. I see that we're under full course caution right now. But these cars, the Hoosier 2-5 Challenge, started by Troy Ermish, Ashley Ermish. These are the Datsun 510s, BMWs, Volvos, Alfa Romeos, Lotus Cortinas. This was huge in the 70s in the Trans Am series, and these cars are set up very similarly to how they would have been back in the 70s, back in the John Morton era. I'm seeing right now Troy Ermish out front in the Datsun 510, Jeff Mosing second in the number 56 Datsun 510, Zhang O'Shaughnessy in the car that his father, Brian O'Shaughnessy, has won the last two championships in that beautiful BMW 2002. Then Parker McKean in that red with that kind of orangish nose, beautiful Alfa Romeo. And I expect to see Parker move up. Ara Malkassian in the number 11. Then we have Tim Probert in the number 10 in sixth place. Phil Hartstein in the purple and white, number 36 in seventh place. A champion from, I think, 3 years ago in this series is Armin Gorbani in that number 25 Datsun 510. Then David Anderson in the number 35 there. Craig Skeels in the number 46. Patrick Emge in the number 41 is in 11th. David Graziano is 12th. Rick Rowe is 13th. Edmund Germain, 14th in that BMW. And then Reiner Wolf. That rounds us out here in the Hoosier 2-5 Challenge. I'm hoping that we can get this thing restarted here soon, because this is usually some of the best racing we see all weekend long. These B sedans. And what they did as part of the rules back in the day, and still to this day, is your weight and your displacement had to match. So as Troy Ermish was explaining it to me, even though you can have a 2.5 liter engine, there's somewhere in there is the diminishing returns of your displacement and your weight. And they think that these Datsuns with their 1800s have a pretty good weight to balance ratio. As we see two Datsuns up front. But these are the front four that we've seen pretty much all weekend in our SVRA Group 8. We're going to go to a quick break until they get this thing restarted, but stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because this racing is always fantastic right after this break.
Born on America's greatest racetracks, developed in the Top Liner Lab, tested where it matters most. At every turn, every lap, every win. A protective coating engineered under extreme conditions, applied with precision, designed to last. For high-speed laps and for the people who keep America moving. Top Liner. Dealer opportunities nationwide. Inquire for your area at topliner.com.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Big news for car lovers everywhere. Now you can get Next Gen at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Every Next Gen formula is built with advanced ceramic technology, and that means a deep gloss finish, serious protection, and long-lasting durability for your paint. World-class racing teams trust Next Gen to protect their race cars under the toughest conditions. And you can trust Next Gen to protect your car every day. Find Next Gen ceramic protection at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get ready for race day with Stack Auto Lifts. The world's fastest racers and the most trusted garage lifts come together to elevate every moment on and off the track. From rugged 4-post lifts and powerful 2-post systems to space-saving single-post and scissor lifts, Stack Auto Lifts delivers strength, precision, and performance for every garage. Brought to you by Stack Auto Lifts, created by racers for racers. Proud partner of Race America for the 2026 season.
JM Environmental Incorporated, Northern California's leader in demolition, hazardous materials remediation, and abatement since 1994. Performance, progress, service accelerated. On the job site and on the track. JM Environmental, proudly powering JM Racing. Proudly supporting Trans Am and Racing America.
Welcome to RacingAmerica.tv. From the local short tracks to the road racing stars of Trans Am, we have you covered. Subscribe now for live access to over 200 grassroots races streaming all season long. Watch anytime, anywhere on your phone, tablet, or TV apps. Get a 10-year archive of grassroots races, plus behind-the-scenes NASCAR team coverage. And when the spotlight turns to Trans Am, Racing America brings you front-row access to the action. This is racing at every level. This is Racing America.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Racing America at Sonoma Raceway with the Sports Car Vintage Racing Association. And this is a part, and kind of this race is sanctioned by the Sports Car Vintage Racing Association, but this is a championship within itself. Troy and Ashley Ermish, oh no, we're having to see a checkered flag because of the cleanup. So I built this all up, ladies and gentlemen, and they had to throw a checkered flag, unfortunately, because of all the cleanup. But Troy and Ashley Ermish, they do so much work for the Hoosier 2-5 Challenge, and this is the first time that I have ever seen this happen. Usually this is the best racing of the weekend, but unfortunately, because of all the cleanup and we have one group to go, they had to throw the checkered flag. So it looks like the finishing order is going to be Troy Ermish in that number 38, followed by Jeff Mosing. Then third is Zhang O'Shaughnessy. Fourth is Parker McKean. Fifth is Ara Malkassian. Tim Probert sixth. Phil Hartstein seventh. Armin Gorbani eighth. David Anderson ninth. Craig Skeels 10th. Patrick Emge 11th. David Graziano 12th. Rick Rowe 13th. Edmund Germain 14th. So I'm sorry about that big buildup, but stay tuned because we have the Historic Stock Car Racing Association. 15 historic stock cars are going to take the green flag, led by Bill Elliott in a Chase Elliott car. And then that front row is Danny Lowry in the Greg Biffle car. So they're still having to clean up down there just past believe turn 10, maybe turn 11. You can see there, you can see the oil on the ground and the safety clean dry. And that's what's happening, is so that we can have a safe surface for the next group, because we are on a time crunch here. They have to throw the checkered so that they can cleanly and safely clean the race surface there. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, and unfortunately for me selfishly, because this Hoosier 2.5 Challenge is always one of my favorite races of the year. But you can see the great crew here. Mike, that's over the safety crew here, does a great job. This crew does a great job. And, you know, they've seen a little bit of everything, but they want to make sure they're clean, because we've got some very fast stock cars coming out here next. So the cars are coming into Winner's Circle. Look at these views up here. Sometimes from up here, the backgrounds just look fake. See up there on the top of the screen? It does almost look like CGI, or that we've painted the backgrounds like the movies did back in the day. So Sonoma Raceway, you need to make sure you come out to this track. Not a great way to end it. Sorry about that, but look at these green hills. And just over there, just over the horizon to the left, on a clearer day, we could see downtown San Francisco. I believe that's the San Pablo Bay. And if it was just a little bit clearer, I think you could just make out the top of one of the buildings there. But that's just outside of San Francisco, probably about a 30-40 minute drive. There we go. Look at that. There's downtown San Francisco. Unbelievable. Right over the hill here. See? I love it. I got to say, the drone pilot that we've had this weekend may have been one of the most talented drivers we had here in the paddock, because he was putting the drone just about anywhere. So that's Lucas flying the drone and also just zooming in. Great shot there of downtown San Francisco. And to be honest, I didn't think it would be clear enough to see that. So nice shots. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back to the historic Stock Car Racing Association here at Racing America at Sonoma Raceway with SVRA. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just the opening shot there is the awesome Bill from Dawsonville, Bill Elliott, in the Chase Elliott car. He is starting first in pole position in the number 9A. Second is Danny Lowry with Bennett and Bridgehull. And we've seen Bennett all over NASCAR Xfinity Series. Their driver, I believe Austin Hill, doing so well. Love having him out here. And he's in the Biffles car right there, that number 16, that car of tomorrow. He is in the SCA. This is the Historic Stock Car Racing Association here at the Racing America at Sonoma Raceway event. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, rarely do the NASCAR cars use this carousel section, but here with SVRA, we're running the Sears Point layout. The Ray Skillman Mustang brings them through. So we've got Bill Elliott out front, Danny Lowry in second, Ryan Thompson in that Cole Trickle car from Days of Thunder, that Lumina. He's in SCE. Then Stephen Keneally is in that number 43 John Andretti Bobby Labonte 2006 Dodge Charger. He's in SCB. Mark Versini in that Juan Pablo Montoya Javelin car. Beautiful car up close. Then Kevin Terpstra in the Bobby Labonte car. And I was able to bring Bobby Labonte, who's here this weekend, over to meet Kevin Terpstra. And they talked for probably about 30 minutes. It was really, really cool. Then Fred Lind is in that 1995 Ford Thunderbird. That was the Quaker State. Kenny Bernstein owned, the Top Fuel guy. And then Steve Kinser, the World of Outlaws multi-champ, was his driver in a beautiful car up front. Jim Haig is in the Rusty Wallace car. Donnie Etherly is in the Clint Boyer Jack Daniels car. Ron Miska is in the Dick Trickle Carolina Pottery car. Steve Beck is in the Mark Martin Valvoline car. Then starting 12th is Carlos Gann in the Ricky Rudd car. John Davis is in the Richard Petty 43 car. Ken Epsman is in the Bill Elliott car. And Mark Berardi in the Paul Menard 2010 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. This is going to be 2 pace laps. They're getting the tires warm here. You can see Bill Elliott out there in that Chase Elliott Red Bull car. There's Danny Lowry and Ryan Thompson in the Cole Trickle. Steve Keneally in that 2006. There's the Clint Boyer car, the Dick Trickle car. I don't see Steve Beck out there. There's Kevin Terpstra in that Bobby Labonte car. There's the Biff. Great to see the Greg Biffle car out there. Great to see Cletus McFarland doing so well in yesterday's race at Talladega. Good friend of Greg Biffle. While we do this safety car lap, I'll tell you a funny story. I did an off-road race at my friend Gar Robinson's ranch a couple of New Years ago, and I brought my son, who doesn't really know a lot about racing, but he loves coming and hanging out in the paddock. And at this ranch, Greg Biffle was there. A lot of famous drivers were there, and there was those, remember the Daytona arcade games? And my son, who's probably a sophomore in high school at this time, is playing the arcade game, and Greg Biffle sits next to him, and I'm behind him listening to this whole thing. And my son looks over at him and says, "I'm Dale Earnhardt. Who are you?" And Greg Biffle says, "I'm Greg Biffle." And I found that so funny because my son had no idea that was the actual Greg Biffle. He thought he was playing the avatar Greg Biffle. And then my son goes, "Is he any good?" And Greg Biffle looks right at him and goes, "Not as good as Dale Earnhardt." And I've just found that very, very funny. And that's just kind of who Greg Biffle was. So there's our lineup. Bill Elliott first, Danny Lowry second, Ryan Thompson third, Stephen Keneally fourth, Mark Versini fifth, Kevin Terpstra sixth, Fred Lind seventh, Donnie Etherly from my neck of the woods, Hendersonville, Tennessee in eighth, Ron Miska in ninth, Carlos Gann 10th. As they come down the JM Environmental S's. And this is the Historic Stock Car Racing Association and the Historic Stock Car Racing Series, which is basically the West Coast version of the Historic Stock Car Racing Association. So it's great to have stock cars out there from the West Coast and the East Coast as they line up late here on Sunday at Sonoma Raceway. They're coming through to take the green flag. I want to thank all of our drivers, everybody that stayed tuned for this race. We're about to see something really special here. Danny Lowry, my friend Danny Lowry. That's got to be so cool to line up side by side with Bill Elliott. Some of the things you get to do with SVRA and the Historic Stock Car Racing Association. Look at this. They're all going to get on the loud pedal at the same time. A fantastic start as they come down here to take the green. Some great shots from the drones. And here we go. Bill Elliott jumps out to an early lead, followed by Danny Lowry. Then Mark Frassini and Keneally side by side going up into turn 2. Ooh, what's going to happen here is Keneally ducks out a little bit. Ryan Thompson right behind him, but they stay side by side. Not suggested, gentlemen, but Frassini has the preferred line here. But Keneally then will have the right-hander as they get around. Some great racing. And now Ryan Thompson closes in as they go over the crest of the hill. Looks like Frassini now in 4th place. Then Ryan Thompson. Then Kevin Terpstra in that Bobby Labonte car. But there's that City Chevrolet driven by Tom Cruise in the movie Days of Thunder. Greg Biffle. Danny Lowry in the Greg Biffle car. And man, Bill Elliott just went out, took off in that Chase Elliott car. Way up ahead, there's Danny Lowry with Bennett and Bridgehall running the Greg Biffle car of tomorrow. The Ford stock car. There's Bill Elliott in that number 9 Chase Elliott car. We did have a photo shoot on the main straight the other day with all the drivers and all the historic stock cars. If you go to the SVRA Facebook, you can see some of that. But here they come into turn 11. Very treacherous turn. Looks like it's Bill Elliott, Danny Lowry, Stephen Keneally, Mark Frassini, Ryan Thompson, Kevin Terpstra, Fred Lind. There's Danny Lowry there. Then Keneally. And then Frassini. Frassini, longtime stock car racer out here on the West Coast. Very competitive driver in that Juan Pablo Montoya Javelin car. Coming up the hill. From the start-finish line to the top of that crest of the hill is about 160 feet of elevation. And then it's back downhill, then back uphill, and then back downhill again. And TV, video games, simulators, it really doesn't do it justice until you walk or try to ride a bicycle on this circuit. But now Keneally getting right behind Danny Lowry in that Greg Biffle car coming into turn 7. A very sharp 180. Different lines that different drivers can take in these big over 3,000 pound cars. Really hard to get them to rotate around turn 7 as they come up the hill. Danny Lowry doing very well to hold them off as they come through the JM Environmental S's. There's Kevin Terpstra in the Bill Elliott car, then Fred Lind in that Steve Kinser car, and then there was Donnie Etherly in the Clint Boyer Jack Daniels car. I live about an hour away from where Jack Daniels is made in Lynchburg, Tennessee. I'm in Franklin, Tennessee, where I see Darrell Waltrip all the time. He also lives in Franklin, Tennessee. There's that Clint Boyer car. And you know, I was talking to Bobby Labonte, and it just means so much to these drivers. And if Clint Boyer could watch this, he would love it. Because a lot of their cars are kind of locked up in museums as static displays. But any driver wants their cars out here like this, racing at speed, showing their legacy. And these drivers, they're race car drivers, but also it means so much to be out here and protect the heritage and legacy of these drivers. There's that Steve Kinser, World of Outlaws multi-champion, the Quaker State car that was owned by Kenny Bernstein. Top Fuel champion back in the day. So if you've joined us on YouTube and search Racing America, leave us a comment. Who you're rooting for? What cars do you love? What was your favorite era of NASCAR? And where are you watching from? Because we have a great race here. Bill Elliott, you know, like you would expect. And how cool is it? If you're a Bill Elliott fan, you should be more of a Bill Elliott fan. I was talking to him. He drove a car one time to Road Atlanta on a short trailer. He was under the car fixing the rear differential. I said, Bill, are you enjoying this? And he goes, oh, man, I love it. I get to be a race car driver, work on my own car, have a lot of fun. And he absolutely still loves driving, still obviously very, very fast. So who doesn't love that? And Paul Menard got in the Paul Menard car this weekend and even told Bobby Labonte, they were teammates in NASCAR for a while, even told Bobby Labonte he's got a helmet for him. He'd like to see him in the Bobby Labonte car. So maybe next time we can make that happen. So Scott Hawley, I wish you were here too, Scott Hawley. I've seen Kyle all weekend, man. We really miss you. Scott Hawley usually runs in the series in the Rusty Wallace car. He's joining us here. Love to see you out there. I've got some fans of Kevin Terpstra, some fans of Bill Skillman, love that. And Coors Bandit is saying, hopefully I'll be on the grid with the stock car guys. Well, Coors Bandit, I hope you're going to be driving a Coors car. So leave us a comment. If I get anything wrong, please leave a comment in all caps. And Scott Hawley, I could really use some of your expertise on these cars and drivers as well. There's that Cole Trickle car coming up the hill. It's hard for that's pretty much the longest straightaway here at Sonoma, but it's uphill, so you're not going to reach the top speed of these cars in such a short shoot, and then being uphill and then having to be hard on the brakes, probably first or second gear around turn 7 there. And I tell you what, Keneally in that we think Kyle Petty, Bobby Labonte, John Andretti car, giving the Greg Biffle car of Danny Lowry a run for its money. This is Terpstra, who I was talking about, who had to have a great conversation, took some selfies, and Bobby Labonte crawled all over this car, taking pictures, texting it back to his old crew guys. It has different numbers, but Bobby even said, man, everything is right where it was. Like, he could get in it, and all the switches operated the same things back in his day racing in NASCAR. So cool to see him. Bobby, one of those drivers that absolutely loves seeing Kevin out here running his car the way it was run back in the Norm Miller Interstate Battery days. AJCD is saying, hey Ben, watching from home today, but looking forward to seeing the historic stock cars and more again at a couple of events this year. Yeah, they're going to be racing with us quite a bit. Hope you guys can join us. And Coors Bandit says he's got a car built and ready to go for this group. Just gonna finish up my final schooling. We absolutely love that. And speaking of, there's Carlos Gann. He kind of runs the Historic Stock Car Racing Association in his Ricky Rudd car. Absolutely love that car. He and Jim Barfield have built some of the coolest looking stock cars. Absolutely love it. Even the Ricky Bobby car will come out and race with us every once in a while with Fig Newtons or Wonder Bread on the windshield, just like it was raced in the movie. Wants to go fast. But thank you so much for coming out here in that Ricky Rudd car. We saw Sam Corey finish 4th today in the Cube 3 Architectures TA2 Series. He's neighbors and personal friends with Ricky Rudd. And we did a video piece where Ricky Rudd took him to the NASCAR Hall of Fame and was teaching Sam Corey some things. So Ricky Rudd's still involved. Love having him out here, but he would probably love to see that car racing out there at speed. Carlos Gann wheeling that thing around in that 15A Motorcraft car. Then that's Ron Miska back there in that Dick Trickle car, the Carolina Pottery car. Not sure what happened to Steve Beck. That used to be Steve Beck's car. But love seeing him out there. And oh man, look out, Carlos Gann and Ron Miska, because here comes awesome Bill from Dawsonville into turn 7. in that Chase Elliott Red Bull car. Coming down. He's going to be coming in your mirrors here pretty soon, Ron Miska and Carlos Gann. As a Bill Elliott fan, it means so much to me to see him out there racing, having fun, but just also being the type of person that you want your heroes to be. Such a nice person. Although he did yell at me in the photo shoot, because I was like, you know, Bill, had I known a Bill Elliott car would be in the photo shoot, we'd have put you next to Bill Elliott. And he looked at me and goes, yeah, I should be next to the Bill Elliott car. I'm Bill Elliott. This is the Chase Elliott car, which is his son, who did have a win here in the NASCAR Cup Series at Sonoma Raceway. Chase Elliott, very good road racer. Bill Elliott coming through the Cube 3 section in that Red Bull car. Number 9A, still running the Elliott number. I'd love to get confirmation on if Bill Elliott wins this race, will they ring the bells in Dawsonville, Virginia? Maybe Scott Hawley has some insight into that. They're going for Kevin Terpstra, watching from the Central Valley. That's Jules Terpstra. Jules, is that, I'm sure you're related. How are you related? Daughter, wife? Let us know. Lots of Kevin. And then we got Carissa Terpstra also watching. Look at that line from Bill Elliott. It's like I said, it's really hard to get these. Oh, and Aaron Creed. Says yeah, I was told by the producers they lost my audio, but we had Aaron Creed join us and Scott Hawley join us, so I wanted to talk about that. Great to have them here, and I believe the car Bill is driving, Chase's old Hooters Pro Cup car. Thank you, Scott. Yes, that I was looking for what series that would have run in. So we have some experts out there, so thank you so much. And Chloe Terpstra, that's his daughter. So he's doing really well. He's had a good weekend in that Bobby Labonte car. But there's Forsini, and look at this, Forsini and Cole Trickle laying down 2 stripes. There is Forsini in that Juan Pablo Montoya car. Moving up in that Javelin car, the number 42. Love seeing that. Turn 11 is so treacherous, especially with these huge, heavy cars that don't have the best of brakes, the best of balance. Then followed closely by that City Chevrolet, owned by Randy Quaid. In the movie, oh, Forsini goes off. Old Trickle and Ryan Thompson. So Ryan Thompson in that Cole Trickle car, able to just get in the mirrors a little bit, and Forsini went a little bit too deep. But back on the track, watch out through this carousel because he's still got some dirt on the tires, a very difficult section of the track. But Forsini's back at it. Let's see if he can get back to Ryan Thompson up there. Cliff is saying his favorite drivers are Dale Sr. and Dale Jr., Greg Biffle, and Cletus McFarland. Cletus McFarland is quickly becoming my favorite driver in NASCAR because of the great interviews he does post-race. Even when he crashes, he has a huge smile. I have lost all visuals of the race. Not sure what's happening, but I'm going to keep it going, reading some of these comments, and hopefully we can get this back up and going. Richie is watching from Brisbane, Australia. So I think unless somebody can beat him, that is a long way away. I have no idea what time it is there. So Richie, let us know what time it is in Brisbane, Australia. I've been to Brisbane, Australia many times. Great place. Absolutely love the Aussies. But we got Bill Elliott out front, followed by Ryan Thompson, taking second over Mark Forsini there with that little hiccup. Kevin Terpstra running 4th. Stephen Keneally running 5th. Danny Lowry dropped back to 6th. I don't know what's happened there. But Danny Lowry and the Biff, Be Like Biff car. Then Fred Lind is 7th. Donnie Etherly in 8th. 9th is Carlos Gann, and Ron Miska is 10th. Okay, so it's just in the booth, ladies and gentlemen. I'm seeing that you're still seeing the images, but if I called it as I'm seeing it, it would have a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to keep reading. But I see the Cole Trickle car of Ryan Thompson just through 7. And I'm hearing that we're going to see the white flag next time by on that number 9. A. Say that quietly because I can't believe we made Bill Elliott run an A behind his number 9. If anybody should own the number 9, it should be Bill and Chase Elliott. Bill Elliott was and still is a great driver. Yes, Cliff, 420. I agree with you there. It's 9:55 Monday morning in Brisbane. Well, I hope you have a good week. Carlos is also driving one of Bill's old cars. Yeah, he does. He has the number 9 Thunderbird. Absolutely love it. From one of my favorite eras of NASCAR. You're right, Scott Hawley. Thank you for that. And it looks like Bill Elliott will come around the next time to take the checkered flag. I see out my window Danny Lowry. There's Mark Forsini. Can Mark Forsini catch Ryan Thompson? Bill Elliott pretty handedly has had this race won, but that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Coming to turn 11, I've got images back. Here we go, and what an honor it is for me to be able to say these words, ladies and gentlemen. Racing America at Sonoma Raceway. Ring the bells in Dawsonville as he comes to take the white flag. I was a little premature on that, but I lost my images. So, but it was a good dress rehearsal for a lap here as they come up through turn 2, the Cube 3 section. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. That beautiful Red Bull car, but I'm so glad to have the images back. But Scott Hawley, do you know, will they ring the bells in Dawsonville? Who alerts them? But that's a long-standing tradition in the Elliott family. And what a great tradition it is. Ooh, and Jules Terpstra saying, Kevin's my husband. Super proud of the work he's done to get out there. Yes, he is a firefighter. His crew person is also a firefighter from California. So it takes a lot of work to get these cars running. And I think Kevin will tell you that he's had a fantastic weekend here with Bill Elliott coming around the garage living section of turn 7. I don't know what you mean, CSFK. I thought it was serene. Great retro race cars. I agree with that. And that is Bill Elliott, Tyler. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. Here, coming into turn 11 with some lap traffic ahead of him. Let's see if he can rotate through here. And let's do this again. As he comes up to Donnie Etherly in the Clint Boyer car. Bill Elliott around the Clint Boyer car of Donnie Etherly coming to take the checkered flag here. Ring the bells in Dawsonville, Georgia for Bill Elliott in the Chase Elliott car. Winning the race here at Sonoma with Racing America. How awesome is that? Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. Still got it. Love seeing him out here waving to the corner workers. Donnie Etherly in that Clint Boyer car, giving him all the room. And I was able to take Donnie around the track. He had never been here before in my rental car. And he was just talking about what a thrill it is to be on track, to be in these photos, to just be in the same vicinity of some of his heroes. And that's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. As a 90s kid, watching Bill Elliott still racing after 31 years is amazing. I hope everyone on the track can make it to Watkins Glen this year. I agree with that. That's just the blue. The checkered flag coming out. There's Mark Forsini crossing the checkered flag, so it's Bill Elliott, Ryan Thompson, Mark Forsini in third, Kevin Terpstra fourth, Danny Lowry fifth, Keneally sixth, Lind seventh, Donnie Etherly in the Clint Boyer car, then Carlos Gann is ninth. Here comes Terpstra to take the checkered flag, then Danny Lowry. Ooh, Danny Lowry over Keneally. Danny Lowry, don't get mad at me. Let's do this again. Bill Elliott, Ryan Thompson, Mark Forsini, Kevin Terpstra fourth, then Danny Lowry fifth, making Bennett Bridge Hall proud. Then Keneally is sixth, Lynn seventh. In that car that we just saw there, that Quaker State car of Kenny Bernstein, the owner, and Steve Kinser, the driver, Donnie Etherly. Then there's Ricky Rudd, Dick Trickle. Some great names in NASCAR right there. Ricky Rudd. What a great name for a racer. Here comes Bill Elliott into pit lane. Clint Boyer, driven by Donnie Etherly. Mark Forsini coming down the JM Environmental S's. There's that beautiful Bill Elliott car. Great shots from my friend Lucas. Poor Lucas has to follow me around all day with a camera. Could you imagine having to do that? Look at this thing. I tell you what. Jim Barfield, Carlos Gann, their crew can really build some fantastic race cars. Look at that smile from Bill Elliott out the window. You've got Donnie Etherly right behind him. We're going to bring all of the stock cars. Barfield for many years. That's Jim Barfield there to his left. And I've seen these two. Bill Elliott will get out of the car and they can talk about the car setup in sign language. They've been together so long, they can do it. Bill can just give them sign language and noises. And Jim knows how to kind of reset up the car there. There's my friend Ron Miska in that Dick Trickle car, the Carolina Pottery. There's Kevin Terpstra, a firefighter from the area here. Finishing the race, our third place finisher, Mark Forsini there. Then there's my good friend Danny Lowry in the Greg Biffle car, unbuckling his helmet in that 3M Innovation Ford. Then you see there the Keneally in that number 43 Richard Petty racing car that we think was Bobby Labonte back in the day. Also John Andretti. One of my favorite cars here, you got to see that up close, is Lind in that number 26 car, Fred Lind. That was the Steve Kinser car, owned by Kenny Bernstein. And we see them getting out. This is our last race of the day. We're going to finish strong here at Winner's Circle. You can see our Cube 3 flags flying underneath that Racing America tent. Jim Barfield, big smiles to Bill Elliott. They've got a long drive back to northern Georgia to bring these cars. But like Scott Holly was telling us, they're going to be at Mid-Ohio. They're going to be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway here on Father's Day weekend. So come on out. And, yeah, Joseph, I think we're going to get an interview with Terpstra and Peter Chance, Bill Elliott, Greg Biffle, Earnhardt. All right, well, I'm going to hand it over to my friend Eric Whitnable. Thank you guys so much.
That's all. That's what I like to hear. Everybody excited, really to enjoy these amazing stock cars. We've got a lot of information to share with you. And in a moment, I'm going to go get all of the details that Michelle has provided to me. We are going to celebrate this a little bit differently than normally. The historic stock cars actually are organized in several different subcategories. A, B, C, Yes, we have A, B's, and C's today. We got our pro class. I guess you can guess who's in that one. And we've got an E class, too. So is Ryan here? Where's Ryan Thompson? Is he ready to go? Is he out of the car? Ryan, why don't you come up and join me up here? And I'm going to bring up Danny. Is Danny ready to go? Is he out of the car? Danny Lowry? There he is. So, Ryan, you are listed as an E. So, that was the car number 46. I'm guessing that's from Dick Trickle's organization there at one point. Is that true?
Yeah, sure. I will go with that.
But it's a wonderful kind of piece of history, obviously, from the Days of Thunder, right, movie. And was there any history to that, or are we just looking at something that has a livery, or is there some history behind that?
Well, we built the car based on that movie, certainly, and we kept every detail we could. But then we wanted to keep it competitive.
Yeah.
And he was a circle track racer, and this is a road course car, so. Right. We took the liberties we could, but we're out here to show everybody what we built. So
it's beautiful. If you haven't got a chance, if you can, feel free to come in and take a close look at them. We got some hardware. We are Group A. Oh, okay. This is no. We're down here, Group C. Yep. Michelle will get your hardware. Well, she has it there. I'm going to talk to Danny real quick because Danny, you're representing the stock car Group A, which if Carlos was up here, he would tell me all about it. I think what's the car number 16. Where is it around here somewhere? Back there. Okay. Any history you'd like to share with that car?
It's a Greg Biffle car, 2016. God rest his soul. But I'm proud to run his livery on that car. I can tell you that.
Absolutely. That's Danny Lowry, a really great part of the SCCA family and All Racing America, a great supporter of Trans Am, everything. Anything you'd like to share to wrap up your weekend, Danny?
I'd like to thank my wife, Paige, for letting me come out here, number one. Number two, Carlos Gann for putting this whole big thing together to get us off the East Coast out here. It's been a lot of fun. And Mike, I can't remember Mike's last name. Anyway, really good guy, local guy, helped me out a lot.
Excellent. All right, we got some hardware for you, Danny, and I'm going to bring up Bill as well. We know Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. He's going to be here with us somewhere. He's also representing what we call the Pro Group. We have only one representative here today, but he showed us what that really means. He's got some amazing skills out there still. Bill, thank you so much for racing with us. I wanted to personally thank you for being out here and being such a gentleman and showing us really the way it's done. And I can't thank you enough for racing with us.
You need to get the real professional to show how it's done. But I just enjoyed racing with all these guys. The whole week's been fantastic. You know, the crowd out here has been great, and we've just had so much fun, and I just enjoy every minute of this racetrack's just so much fun to run around, and I had a great time.
We're glad that you did as well. That's what we're shooting for, Bill. Thank you so much. It's like to have you. I'm going to step out of the way. Just kind of get together there real quick. We'll get these are all the individual gold medal winners from each one of their classes. I'll say it again. It's Danny Lowry, it's Ryan Thompson, and Bill Elliott. Thank you very much for racing with us this weekend. I'm going to bring up our next group is the Mark Frashini. Mark and Kevin Terps. Kevin, it's Terpstra. And Stephen Neely. Come here, Keneally. Is it Keneally? I know it is. Stephen, the 43A. He's here. Stephen is here. Keneally. Yep. Terpstra. Yeah, he's Kevin is P2. Mark is the 42. Well, you had a nice little battle there with I saw the 46, and you were kind of going at it for a little while. That was awesome. Yeah. So, that's we got that's Stephen. Yep, Stephen gets the bronze, and Mark gets the gold. So I'm going to jump over here real quick. Isn't it? It is quite sick. So, Kevin, you've got the award for silver today, representing our SCC Stock Car B. Which one of these fantastic machines? The body. And he was here this weekend. Did he have a chance to check it out?
We did. We spent a lot of time together. He was gracious. We spent about an hour, did an interview together, and what an absolutely nice guy. Just a class act for sure.
Awesome. All right, we'll put you up P2 for that. I'm going to grab, let's see, SCC. This is Ron. No, wait. Which one are we doing here? B. That's what we're doing. So, Steven, we're here. Just tell us a little bit about your weekend racing that stock car.
Oh, it's been great. A lot of fun, especially this last race. We had we wheel to wheel for, 5 or 6 laps, and then we had a little mishap, and we got back into it and came out all right. So we both got on the podium. So that's the fun part about it, and our cars are still in one piece. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to put you up P3 there today, Stephen. And finally, we were out here, Mark Cricini. Mark, tell us a little bit about, I'm going to look at it, the 42. I know it's over here somewhere. There it is, right in front of us over here, the 42. It's the Haviland. Yes, sir? Tell us a little bit about that car.
Well, it's a Ganassi car, and we've had that car and raced that car for over 20 years. So it's been a great car for us, and we'll just hang on to it, keep racing it, and keep it alive, and keep taking care of it. But I'd like to say a great compliment to all of the drivers in this group. These guys, they're not amateurs. They're not driving like amateurs. They're driving like pros. And if you were on track and saw what I saw and dealt with what I had to deal with, they're awesome.
Thank you so much for saying that. I'm sure everyone appreciates it. You are top of the step right here in SCCA-B. I'm going to step around, and we'll say this again. It's Stephen Keneally, Kevin Terpstra, and Mark Fricini. Stock car B. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And careful, it is amazingly sticky, like right here. You probably lose a shoe if you're not careful. I would expect we probably dumped about 4 or 5 gallons of champagne up here this weekend. Thank you, gentlemen. Hey, let's get up to our the guy that kind of everybody's mentioning, Carlos Gann. Can make it up here, Carlos? And joining Carlos is Ron Miska. I got it right, Ron. I got it right. God dang it, Ron Miska. I got it. Pretty close. So Carlos is silver. Ron is the bronze. Bronze? Yes. And where's Fred Lynn? Come on, Fred. Get up here and join us. And I'm going to give the mic to Carlos real quick. Carlos, it's great to when you I'm just going to say, when you help to bring these stock car guys out here, and I think the weather gods were good to us this weekend. Sebring was a little different, but tell us just about your experience this weekend racing with Racing America.
I got to tell you, you guys put on one hell of a show, and Racing America, SVRA, all first-class people, professionals, kind, gracious, gave us everything we needed to have a good time. And never been here before, I had a lot of apprehensions. You see it on TV, it's simulator. Doesn't do this place justice. But actually, Bill cooked this up, and he said, we should go to Sonoma. And so, I started mentioning it to some of my friends. They're like, yeah, let's go. So it was quite a program to put it together, to get the cars here. We would have had probably 2 or 3 times as many from the East Coast if that Le Mans crap hadn't screwed us up. But so anyway, we made it. But I got to tell you, these West Coast guys, first class, every one of them. Love running with them, the way their mentality is on track. I want to take some of that back to the East Coast and train them guys. So y'all need to come out there and teach us how to do it. What do you think?
That sounds like a great idea. All right, Carlos, I'm going to have you jump over to the P2. Ron, you're over here, P3. And just a quick note about your weekend, sir.
All right, overall, a fantastic weekend. The car's home in one piece. That's a big deal. It was nice to have a nice race at the end there with Carlos. We just had a blast back there. It was a lot of fun, good, clean racing all the way around. So it was a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. And a reminder that you brought that is a gold medallion car that you're running out there as well. So thanks again for that. And then, Mr. Lind, come up, Fred Lind. I'm going to just chat real quick with you. Just a quick ask about your weekend. How was it here at Sonoma?
This is great. I haven't raced much here in the last 10 years, and I'd like to give a thanks to Mike and Stacy Thompson with McGee Motorsports for giving me the opportunity to wheel it while Mike's healing up. And he's going to be pulling that motor out and putting in a fresh one for next time it comes out. She's a little tired, so we'll see what we got next time.
Sounds great. All right, I'm going to have you jump up there. We're going to get a quick photo. And while we're doing that, I think, Carlos, would you like to get all the rest of the guys up here for a quick photo and everything? All right. Let's gonna bring everybody else up here and get a photo, and I'll get out of the way. This is just one of those moments I gotta see to believe that these are the folks that I get to chat with and hang out with every weekend, and it is my pleasure to host these events with you guys and create a little bit of an experience here for you. So Racing America is very proud to have this group up here. I'm going to step out of the way. This is our stock car, our historic stock cars. And we actually have a little gift for you as you come out. Our friends at Summit, we call it Summit Sunday, and they've provided us some $50 gift certificates for all of you to get. So as you come down, we'll make sure you get it. Thank you very much for racing with us. Thanks, everybody, for being out here. That's our last podium of the weekend, and travel safe. Hey, if you're in the area of Wisconsin, come join us at Road America in a couple weeks. We'll do this all over again. What do you say? Thank you. You bet. I'm sorry.